You're standing in the final quiet moments before everything in your life changes. Not in a year, not someday. In the time between now and the next breath you take, the ground beneath your feet is already shifting. And yet, most people have no idea it's happening. They're too distracted, too numb, too busy chasing the noise to notice the signal. But you're here, listening, which means something inside you already knows this isn't just another day. This is the threshold. And once you step across, nothing will be the same again. Think about the last few months. How many times have you felt like you're teetering on the edge of something you can't name? How many times have you paused and thought, this feels different? That's not wishful thinking. That's the universe preparing you, not by altering your surroundings first, but by shifting something deeper, your frequency, your perception, the way you hold yourself in the world. Because as we speak, the universe is orchestrating movements so precise and interconnected that if you could see the whole picture, your definition of reality would explode. But here's the thing. It doesn't announce these shifts with flashing lights or grand speeches. It whispers. It hides inside patterns you can't explain, coincidences that feel too strange to ignore, a deepening sense that something big is coming, even if you can't name it. Think back over the last few months. How many times have you felt like you're standing on the edge of something invisible but massive? How many times have you said, things just feel different? That's not a mood. That's a signal. That's the first tremor of a transformation already underway. Here's what most people don't realize. The universe doesn't change your outer world first. It starts by changing you. The irritation you've been feeling, the restlessness, the sudden surges of clarity followed by confusion. They're not random emotional swings. They're the soft footsteps of something greater approaching. We've been taught that change is gradual, linear, something we can track on a calendar. But the universe doesn't work in straight lines. It works in leaps and sudden breakthroughs, in moments where the weight of everything beneath the surface bursts through, all at once. You don't have to be like most people. Once you understand what's happening, you can ride the current instead of swimming against it. This isn't about pretending everything is fine or forcing yourself to think positive. It's about realizing that every uncomfortable, uncertain, or painful thing you've experienced lately was training. Every ending prepared you for the next beginning. Every time you were forced to let go, you were practicing for a bigger letting go. Every time life pushed you beyond your comfort zone, it was rehearsing you for now. Every heartbreak, every setback, every time you thought life was breaking you, it was training you for now. This isn't destruction. This is reconstruction. And not the kind where someone else comes along and builds your life for you, but the kind where you finally remember how to build it yourself, in harmony with something so much larger than your own will, that resistance becomes impossible. That's why everything feels so intense. The universe is clearing the table, making space for the version of you that your current identity can't even imagine. And right now, that pressure is peaking. The old systems, the beliefs, the habits, the stories you've lived by are cracking. And cracks are not destruction. Cracks are where the light gets in. Still, here's the truth. Most people will see this moment as chaos. They'll cling harder to the familiar, even as it drags them down. They'll try to force old methods onto a reality that no longer responds to them, and they will drown in the attempt. But you're different. You wouldn't still be here listening if you weren't. The universe is asking you to trust something you can't fully see yet, to move toward a life you can't logically outline, to step into a self you've never met before. Yes, that terrifies the part of you that's been steering until now, but it excites the deeper part of you, the one that's been waiting years for this moment to arrive. And here's the thing, it's arriving faster than you think. The gap between what you feel inside and what you see outside is about to close, not through slow, incremental change, but in sudden, unmistakable shifts. One day, everything will still look the same. The next, the pieces will fall into place so quickly it will feel like magic. The changes you've been sensing, the strange alignments, the subtle nudges, are not random. They're the final preparations. The universe has been updating your inner operating system, and now it's syncing it with your outer world. And it will not happen according to your preferences or your plan. It will happen according to a design so intelligent, so precise, that the only real skill you need is openness. That's where most people stumble. They demand details before they'll commit. They want to know when, how, and in what form it will arrive. But the universe works in steps, not maps. It reveals only what you need for the next move, forcing you to release your grip on the old idea of control. The paradox is that what comes far more beautiful than anything you could have planned yourself, but you'll only see it if you stop trying to force it. The world you've known is ending, not in flames or disaster, but in the quiet dissolution of outdated structures, beliefs, and patterns. And in the space they leave behind lies the most fertile creative energy you will ever experience. You're not just here to watch this happen. You are the pivot point. You are the hinge on which your life turns from what was to what will be. Every single person hearing this has been positioned perfectly for this exact moment. The shift isn't approaching, it's here. And it's not happening to you, it's happening through you. That uneasy restlessness in your bones is not discomfort, it's activation. Most people will focus on rearranging their outer lives. They'll chase the better job, the perfect partner, the dream home. But that's not where the real work is. The universe is changing you so deeply that your outer life will have no choice but to rearrange itself around the new you. And this new you is not a slight improvement. It's a complete redefinition. This is why familiar methods no longer work. This is why your old ways of solving problems feel ineffective. You've been upgraded to a frequency that your current environment hasn't caught up to yet. And you're not alone. Every person meant to be part of the new chapters going through their own version of this activation. Some will fight it, some will sleep through it, but some will recognize it and flow with it. And those are the ones who will rise. The choice is simple, but not easy. Align with what's already in motion, or exhaust yourself resisting it. The universe doesn't need your permission, but it does want your participation. It wants you to stop clinging to the old map and start trusting the unseen compass that's been guiding your entire life. If certain people keep reappearing in your path, if opportunities arrive that make no logical sense, if new doors open where you never even thought to knock, it's not coincidence. You're being assembled. Your life is converging with the lives of others in a way that will create something bigger than any one person could achieve alone. That's why letting go feels so natural now. That's why things you once obsessed over no longer matter. That's why you crave authenticity, simplicity, truth. Your system is rejecting anything that weighs down your frequency because it's incompatible with where you're headed. And the moment you stop resisting this process, the moment you stop trying to think your way through it, the magic begins. You'll find gifts, connections, and opportunities you couldn't have imagined. You'll realize the universe has been holding doors for you that only open when your hands are empty. Those who fight to keep control will feel life grow heavier, not because they're being punished, but because they're swimming against the tide that was meant to carry them. But those who surrender will experience something rare, life moving through them with grace, precision, and power. And now, you have a choice. You can grip the old reality until it drags you under, or you can let go and see what happens when you stop swimming against the current. The universe isn't asking for your control. It's asking for your consent. Everything falling away is meant to. Everything coming is already in motion, not someday. If something inside you knows the answer, then comment below. I'm ready. Because readiness isn't knowing the path. It's trusting that the ground will rise to meet your feet. And the only question left is, will this shift happen to you or through you?